Positive EV betting is often sold to everyone as this guaranteed way to make long term profit sports betting, but that is not always the case. What if I told you that even placing positive EV bets, you could lose your entire bankroll and go bust? Along with that, there are emotional and physical tolls that positive EV betting will place on you, and it'll crack even the most disciplined of sports bettors. These are the secrets that the industry does not want you to know about positive EV sports betting. First of all, let's just talk about winning and losing. When you're positive EV betting, you are taking on a lot of risk and you're not guaranteed to win any money in the short term and sometimes not even the long term. So if you are planning on positive EV betting and you're not willing to give it at least 6 months, you could end up losing money and never know if your strategy worked or not. Now, that's the one thing about the industry. A lot of times people will just chalk it up to variance if you're losing. Often that is not the case, and you are actually placing negative EV plays, but without knowing it. Now, a lot of websites might flag plays as plus EV, but if you don't understand where the market is moving and why you're placing that bet, it might not actually be a plus EV play. And this gets a lot of people into trouble. Dealing with variance can be very frustrating, especially if you're not even 100% sure that you're placing good bets. Now, if you're placing bets with 2 or 3% edges, you can still lose over the course of hundreds of bets. But if you just sprinkle in, 10% of your plays are actually negative EV plays, then that could make your variance not actually be variance and you're just placing losing bets without actually knowing it. So that's the one issue with positive EV betting is you can never tell if it's true variance or you're actually placing negative EV bets. And that can get really frustrating for a new bettor or even someone like myself who's been betting for years. So it's one thing that we don't often talk about in this industry. A lot of times we just chalk it up to variance. Just keep placing the same bets you are, but sometimes you need to reanalyze what you're doing, and maybe that's the problem. Secondly, I want to talk about the emotional toll that positive EV betting can have on you. And there are a couple different ways this can affect people. Though losing is one thing. I mean, it sucks to lose. I've lost 14 days straight before. I've lost back to back months. Losing sucks and it can drive you crazy when you're waking up, 2 hours early every morning to place bets and you are just losing money. You're putting all this time in and you're losing money. It can really drive you crazy and make you want to quit. Now, when I go through these losing streaks, I actually take this as an opportunity to better myself, get comfortable with that losing feeling. So I always try to like to twist it into a positive, but the negative effects of losing, it can really stress you out in your everyday life. You don't want your betting to bleed over to, your real life, but it does happen quite often. Now, losing obviously takes an emotional toll on you, but winning might actually be more of an emotional toll than anything because I've been a winning sports bettor for a couple of years now. And I know that if I'm on my computer or on my phone, I can find plays that will make me money 24/7. The sports betting market never closes. So I always have this pull towards my computer or towards my phone to want to be on it and try to make money sports betting. So it's kind of an addiction where you know that you can make money at any point in the day. So to be able to step back, enjoy your real life and not have that, pull towards your devices to find plays is very tough. And a lot of people have a hard time balancing real life and their sports betting because you can give all the time you want to sports betting and it'll still ask for more because you can always find plays at any point in the day. So being able to kind of take a step back, appreciate what you got going on in your real life is really important. A lot of people struggle with this, something that I work on every single day. And, the longer you bet, the more you get used to this and you can get this kind of work in sports betting life balance. Although positive EV betting doesn't require a large bankroll to get started, the more money you have when you get started, the better. So the more money you have makes more money. So a lot of people will tell you, get started with $500, get started with $1,000, but this can actually get you in trouble. I would rather see people save up, five, $10,000 and then start positive EV betting than them just starting with 1,000. The reason I say this is because you will eventually get capped. You will hit limits on sports books when you start making money. They will not let you bet that much. And whether you're betting $5 a play or $500 a play, you're going to experience limits at the same time. So if you start your betting journey betting $5 a play, you're going to hit limits before you ever have that chance to scale. Now, if you're not able to save up, five, $10,000, then I do recommend go ahead and just start positive EV betting. But if you can save the money first, learn how to positive EV bet and learn all the concepts, you can scale much higher. When you see people posting on Picket, on Twitter, that they're making 100K a year, I'm sorry, but you're never going to make that much money if you're not starting with $10,000, $20,000 right off the rip. This leads me into my next topic is about sports books limits. So once you become profitable, like I said, you're going to be limited on books, and your limits might be so bad that it's not even worth using that book anymore. There are certain books that will limit you down to what we call death limits, which is literally it's not even worth your time to log in and place the bet. There are a couple books that I have under $1 max bets on certain markets, so it's not even worth me looking at it. So you are going to basically destroy a couple books that you'll never be able to bet with again because it just won't be worth your time. With that being said, there are some positives in this industry. We have bigger, larger books like FanDuel and DraftKings that are always willing to take reasonable size bets. And then we also have the exchange books like ProfitX and Novig, which allow peer-to-peer betting. So there are ways around it. But if you are looking for, to bet on Caesars and MGM, ESPN bet forever, it's just not going to happen. You're going to get death limits. That book's going to be completely useless for you. And soon after, 6 months of positive EV betting or whatever profitable sports betting strategy you're using, you're going to lose all your promos. You're going to lose everything that makes some people think sports betting fun. So just take that into account when you're deciding to really start making money sports betting. Books are starting to limit accounts quicker than they ever have before, and they're also changing their odds faster. Plays that were plus EV plays last year would sit there for minutes at a time. Now this year, sometimes it's only seconds. So in the future, who knows how long these positive EV plays will even appear. There could get to a point where these retail books are moving so quick or locking their lines that you just can't positive EV bet in the future. Of course, I mentioned the peer-to-peer betting, but as sports betting has become more mainstream, the people that are betting are much sharper. So it's a more competitive market. So just because you can bet against another peer doesn't mean you're actually going to beat them. There are people like myself who've been doing this for years. And if you are just learning about positive EV betting and we're betting against each other peer to peer, you're going to get absolutely crushed. You also have to be 100% disciplined to positive EV betting. Placing a few degenerate bets or some dumb parlays could ruin your entire week of positive EV betting. Let's just think about this for a second. Say you are a $10 bettor and you placed 50 plus EV bets at 2% value. Now, over the course of the long run, those 50 bets would net you $10 or 1 unit in profit. So let's just say that took you a couple days to get those 50 bets out. And you also decided to throw $10 on a 6-leg home run parlay that you saw on Twitter. You basically just ripped up that $10 and also pretty much ripped up the 50 plus EV bets that you took. So you need to be 100% disciplined or you're going to end up losing money. Overall, if you weigh the positives and the negatives of positive EV sports betting, I think the positives outweigh it by a mile, but that's just my own take. I see why a lot of people start EV betting, give it up in a couple months, or quit after a year. I understand it. I'm kind of addicted to the grind, so I love this stuff. But if you guys want to learn more about positive EV betting, then join the Sharp Money Discord. It is a free Discord. I'm one of the owners of it, and we have built positive EV bots that can help you find real good positive EV plays in the market using line movement and Pinnacle historical limits, which will really dial in your positive EV plays, letting you find value. You won't be questioning whether you're finding good positive EV bets or not, because if you learn how to read markets, you will guarantee yourself some good CLV and end up making some money. So check out the Sharp Money Discord. I'm in there all the time, so feel free to ask questions. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helped you out.